I'm Tori Kruse. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Please put your comments below, and you can also find me on social media at Miss Tori Kruse. I want to help you now with that process and getting clear on your goals, clear on your visions, and getting that bigger why, because no matter what goal it is, if you're competing in a pageant or if you're doing something else that you really desire in life but you don't have yet, you need that deep why, because that is what drives you on the days where you want to sit there and watch TV or eat the chips and you know you should be eating the chicken and broccoli or something like that, right? So I want to be that coach and that mentor for you now. So that's just a little bit of my background, why I am doing what I'm doing now, and I'm so passionate about it. So within the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be helping guide you through 6 different steps that we're going to reflect back on 2020, the first half, the first 6 months, and take a look at, okay, what did you set out January 2020, and where do you want to go by the end of 2020? And by December, you can sit there and be like, wow, it may have started off slow. It may have been a rough ride, because let's be real, 2020 has been very, very hard on many of us. It's been a crisis year. And so it's not over yet, though. We still have 6 months. So I want to guide you through the process and how we can get you, by December, you are proud of yourself, you will feel accomplished, and you'll have even more goals for 2021. So without further ado, let's get started. So if you're ready, make sure you have a pen and paper handy, because we will be taking a lot of notes, and then hopefully you can, if you have a half hour or hour even after this workshop, to dive in even further, because we'll go through, just like one of your big goals. But if you can dive further afterwards, even better. So maybe leave a little bit of room on your pen and paper as well. All right. So step number 1 is reflection. So like I said, we want to take a look at go back to January 2020. So the beginning of this year, and think to yourself, what were 3 goals that on New Year's Day, or whenever you did your goals, what were 3 goals that you really wanted to accomplish by the end of 2020? 3 of those goals. And if you're thinking, oh, darn, I didn't write down any goals for 2020, I guarantee, even if you didn't physically write them down or type them out, I guarantee you have some sort of goal that was in your mind, whether it was to, get healthier, or maybe have better relationships. Maybe it was to have a positive mindset, or maybe it was to land your dream job or dream internship, whatever that looks like for you. Be a better mom if you're a mama. Whatever those 3 goals, write a book, start a podcast, write a blog, whatever it is. It could be numerous things. It could be personal, professional. It could be, health related, relationship related, anything like that. So finances as well. That's a huge thing. And what are 3 goals in January? So I just want you to write those down. And then no judgment. This whole time, this whole workshop, this is a place that I want you to be open and honest and vulnerable with yourself, because that's the only way how we get better, is when we actually dive deep into our hearts and our souls, and we figure out, okay, what is it that I can do to better myself? And so no judgment here at all. So if you haven't accomplished them, write no next to that goal. If you have, write heck yes. Like, let's go. That's awesome. But we still have 6 months. So if you haven't accomplished it, no worries. But I just want you to write down next to each one of those goals that you just wrote, have you accomplished it or not? And then if you have, what are a couple things that have really helped you? What are a couple things that you've done this year in 2020 that have helped you reach that goal? Whether that's habits, or maybe it's accomplishing another goal. Maybe it's somebody helping you. Maybe you've had a mentor or coach that's really helped guide you along this process. What are some things that have helped you reach that goal? And then on the flip side, what are the things that haven't helped you? Did you develop a bad habit maybe during quarantine that you're like, oh shoot, I need to get rid of that habit, and we're going to replace it later in this workshop with new habits? But what are some things that have, if you haven't accomplished that goal yet, why haven't you? And just be honest with yourself. Like I said, no judgment. We still have 6 months here. We're still going to crush 2020. So just be honest with yourself. And then what have you struggled with most? Of course, it's been a very, very challenging year. So again, whether that's your health. I know for me, I probably ate way too much bread and had a couple too many glasses of red wine during quarantine. But you know what? I'm aware of that. And so that's the thing where, am I proud of it? No, but I've already changed that habit and I've built a new one that's better and it's more positive and serving me. So whatever that thing is, whether it be financial, health, professional, personal, anything, what's the thing that you've been struggling with most? You're the only one seeing this paper. So it's private, it's personal. Be vulnerable and be honest with yourself. Step number 2, pivoting. If you're in the business world right now, you've probably heard this word like a bajillion times, just like I have. And I'm a little bit sick of it, I'm not gonna lie, but it's perfect. It's exactly what we all need to be doing. So what big goal have you changed since January 2020? I'll give you an example. So at the beginning of 2020, I went to a personal development conference and I had this audacious goal to create this massive online course, do it yourself, like an online university is really what it was. And I was like, I'm going to create this by the end of the first quarter. So first 3 months of 2020. Well, needless to say, I had to pivot because then COVID-19 came around and we had this worldwide pandemic and everything shut down and people were getting really tight on their finances. And there was just a lot of things where it was like, I can't do this right now. I can't start this online confidence university for women because that's not what we're needing right now. We're needing something smaller. So then I created my product that was 7 steps to a positive mindset during this time of our new normal. And so I created this product. At the beginning of 2020, I had no clue that I was going to be creating that product, but I had to pivot in the times of our current situation. So that's just an example. That's a professional example for me. But it also may be a health and something with your health. Maybe you said, gosh, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 2020. And then quarantine hit and you're like, well, shoot, that dessert sounded pretty good. So I ate that because I couldn't do anything else. It's okay. Give yourself some grace. It's been a crazy tough year. But whatever that is, what goal have you had to pivot and change? Maybe now you're like, hey, if I lose 15 pounds, I'll be proud of myself. And so whether it's that or something with, your morning routine or some habits that you've created that you really wanted to do, a small one. I always use this as an example because it's so small, but it's also very good for you. So flossing your teeth, for instance, if you haven't been flossing your teeth as much as you would like to, and one of your goals for 2020, your personal goal was, hey, I need to floss my teeth more, then, floss your dang teeth. But if you haven't been flossing your teeth that much, okay, well, it's new. We're going to start. We're going to say every single day, we're flossing our teeth for the next 6 months. Little things. Like, I know that sounds super goofy, but it's really true. Like, just the smallest of goals too, you could have changed. It doesn't matter what it is. So I just want you to jot down a few of those. And something that's really important too is, let's say you made a pivot, whether it's personal, professional, health, relationship, whatever that looks like for you, you made a pivot. But let's say my goal was that confidence university for women. And I was like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen anymore in this first 6 months really of 2020. That's not going to happen. So what if I just said, okay, that's not going to happen, but that's all. I'm not filling it with anything. We're probably going to fill it with something that's less productive, like maybe watching more TV or whatever it is. It could be anything, or we could just not do anything with it. And so what's really important is when you have a goal, and this goes for habits as well, when you have a goal, you need to fill it with something else, just like I did with my positive mindset product. And so it's a $47 product, still for sale. It's still out there. And it works at any time. I directed it towards COVID-19 and quarantine and all that, but it works for any time. 7 steps to a positive mindset, any time of the day. And so that product is only a $47 product. And so you can go purchase that. And it's, but if I had that confidence university, it would have been way higher price point than that. So whatever that goal is for you, make sure you fill it with one that can help others, help yourself, and you're not leaving that empty, because that's when you can fall in the hole and then it's harder to get back up on your feet. So write down, if you did pivot, you did change a goal from 2020 and you didn't create another one, write one down right now. Just think to yourself, okay, if it's December 2020, what is it that I would love to accomplish? And if you did fill it, write down another one. Write down another goal that you would like to accomplish by the end of the year. And then once you're done with that, so with step number 1 and step number 2, you should have at least like 3 goals right now that you probably have not accomplished yet. And if you don't have 3, just write down 1 or 2, and then we're going to work with those goals through the rest of the workshop. Step number 3, visualization. All right, so I want you to get in a comfortable position, sit back in your chair, close your eyes. Nobody's looking at you. It's okay. Close your eyes and imagine that it's December 2020 right now. You have those 3 goals in mind. You haven't yet accomplished it, but you're imagining it's December 2020 and you've accomplished those goals. You did the dang thing. You were persistent in the times that you didn't want to be persistent. You stuck to it. You persevered. You have healthier relationships. You have more energy. You're more healthy. You're more positive. And you're living a life with more purpose. You maybe landed that dream job, or you got a raise at work, whatever that looks like for you. Picture that in 2020 right now, in December 2020, that you've already accomplished that. And I want you to really sit with those feelings, like put a little smile on your face and just think of, wow, I did it. I did it. I love it. What are those feelings that you're having? Are you proud of yourself? Are you happy? Are you accomplished? Are you grateful? Are you more energized? Are you living life with more purpose? What are those feelings that you're feeling in your heart right now because you've already accomplished all 3 of those goals that you just wrote down? Now I want you to open your eyes and write down what those feelings were that came to mind. And after you're done writing your feelings down, I want you to write down the rewards and the benefits of these goals. So you have those 3 goals. You really want to get them done by the end of 2020, and you can do it. You have to think of like the feelings, how proud you'll be of yourself once those are accomplished. And then I want you to go one step further and think of, okay, why will I be so proud of myself? Why will I be so happy when I accomplish this? What are some of the benefits? So maybe if you get better with your finances, then it will allow more money to come into your life. You'll be better at budgeting. You'll be able to do more things with your friends and your family. Maybe you'll have healthier relationships. You'll have a more positive outlook on life. Like, what is it that's actually what's the benefit? What's the benefit here? Maybe you want to do something that serves others, and by you getting healthier, you can change the lives of others, and you can share your story with others. So whatever that goal is for you, maybe it's to win a pageant. What's the benefit? Why do you want to win that pageant? So I want you to take a moment and write down the rewards and benefits. So step number 4, why statement. So those feelings and the rewards and benefits are really what form this why statement. And remember when I said, when I was competing in pageants, that when I got really clear on the why, the bigger why, this audacious why of why I wanted to compete in pageants, because I really wanted to help women and share my story, because I didn't wake up one day just confident and have a positive mindset. No, I've had negative voices come in my mind, and I still have those come in my mind, but I know how to control those now, and that's the difference. And so I want you to create a big why statement that is going to motivate you on those days that are the toughest days to get out of bed, or when you don't want to go to the gym, you think, why am I going to the gym? Like, it's not just because I want to look good, or maybe it is because then you want to attract your ideal spouse. That's a good why statement. I mean, it's a little bit of a motivating factor, right? So whatever that why statement is for you, why do you want to be more positive? Why do you want to have more confidence? Why? If you had more confidence, what could you do with it? I want you to think really deep on this. So just an example, by accomplishing blank goal, I will be able to share my success story to help change the lives of others worldwide. I want to be healthier for my family so I can play with my kids and be the best parent that I can be. That's what's going to drive you. That's what's going to get you to December, and you're going to be like, I did it. Because in November, I really didn't want to, be healthier. I didn't want to think positive when this, thing happened in my life, but I did. And now that I am, I'm living a much more fulfilling life with my purpose. So whatever that is for you, everybody's goals are different. So create that why statement. And then another thing with your why statement that I really, really recommend, and it goes along the lines of visualizing a little bit too, is I want you to write it on a Post-it note. Because when you look at that Post-it note and you see it put it in a spot where you see every day. I love putting Post-it notes on my bathroom mirror because of course us girls are getting ready for how many minutes or hours a day. And so when you're getting ready, you're just looking at that. And I would just want you to put 1 or 2 sticky notes up on your mirror or wherever you see all the time. And I want you to put your why statement up there. Because every single day I want you to see that and be like, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then also going back a little bit for step number 3, I want to touch a little bit on visualization. Visualization is so huge. The reason why I had you close your eyes and feel it and then express what you felt is because it's a form of meditation. If you haven't meditated before, I highly recommend it. There's numerous apps for it. One that I like to use is, a few I've used is Headspace, Calm, and then Insight Timer is also one. And they're all very good meditation practices, but I recommend meditation. And when you're meditating, take 5 or 10 minutes, sit there and close your eyes. And really, if it's just 5 minutes, that's better than nothing, but sit there and close your eyes for 5 minutes a day. And I want you to visualize it's December 2020 and you have those 3 goals. You've already accomplished them. And when you sit there and you close your eyes and you feel it, I can't tell you the power behind that, because you're putting that energy, that frequency, that vibes out to the universe, and that's what you'll get back. When I was competing to win Miss Missouri USA, I visualized for 4 years straight that I was getting crowned Miss Missouri USA. So I would sit there, I would meditate, I would close my eyes, and I would feel the sash being placed across my body. I would feel the crown being placed on my head. I would hear my name being called Miss Missouri USA 2018, Tori Kruse. I would hear that and I would feel it. I mean, I would visualize it so hard that I would literally start crying. And then by the time I actually got crowned, crazy enough, I didn't even cry because it was like, oh, I've been here before. And that's what I want you ladies to feel is by the end of this year, when those 3 goals that you have circled are accomplished, you're going to think, oh, I've been there before. And you're going to have so much pride and so much confidence and just in yourself that it's going to be absolutely incredible. And I do want to follow up and see your success stories because I know you'll crush these 3 goals. So visualization, absolutely huge. Very, very important. So back to this, the why statement. I hope you had a chance to create your big why statement and then put a little note next to it and say, put this on a Post-it note, put it on a sticky note, and put it on your mirror. Now we're going to go into step 5, which is habits. Habits are so, so important. What are some of the good habits that you've created in 2020? I know there's some good ones out there. Maybe you have spoke more kindly to yourself. Maybe you have compared yourself. You've had less comparison towards others. Maybe you've ate a little bit healthier. Maybe you've worked out a little bit more. Maybe you started a morning routine. Maybe you started flossing those teeth. Maybe whatever it is for you. Maybe you started making your bed every single day, or you started reading scriptures, or you started journaling. Maybe you started writing gratitudes down. What are some of those good habits that you've created this year? So once you've written those down, I want you to take a moment and think of what are some habits that you would still like to create for the remaining of 2020. So you already have these habits that you've created. And then what are some habits that you'd still like to create? And if you find as you're going through this, you're like, oh, wow, I've actually created some poor habits this year. It's okay. Like I said, give yourself some grace. There's no judgment. But what I want you to do is make a commitment to yourself today that those habits are done today. It's done. And we are feeling that bad habit that you had, we're going to fill it with a good habit. Because just like our goals, if you don't fill it with something good and better and bigger, you're going to fall in the hole. So make sure if you're removing a habit of any sort, of any bad habit, make sure you fill it with a good one. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So if you are interested in creating something new, stick with it for 21 days. You can do it. I have faith in you. All right. Step number 6 is consistency. Now, consistency is huge because that's after, the 21 days of the habit. That is, if you can stick with it for 21 days, it'll become a habit and you'll be good, but you have to still be consistent to see the results that you want to see. So 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I love sleeping. 8 hours is probably the max that I usually get, but I try, if I can, I get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And so that's so, so important for your brain and your body to function at the highest capacity that you want it to. Working out, move your body. And I'm not saying this has to be something strenuous every single day, but I do recommend try to move your body for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes, it helps your mood, it relieves stress, it relieves any depression that you may have. And during these times right now, especially, it's important to move your body because there's a lot of things going on in the world. And we just need to get out and move our body, whether that's a gym or you just go for a walk. If you're a mom and you have kids, maybe chase your kids around the backyard. Whatever it is, you just need to get up, move your body instead of just sitting at a desk all day or sitting on the couch. And I do want to say one thing. I do have my breakthrough blueprint that is in the link in my Instagram bio at Miss Tori Kruse. And it's a free download, completely free. And it has a consistency checklist right at the bottom of that as well that you can just check mark each day. You can keep yourself accountable and it's super easy to use. So I recommend downloading that if you haven't already. So 8 to 9 hours of sleep, working out for 30 minutes or more, whatever you can squeeze in. If it's only 10, better than nothing, right? So just move your body as much as you possibly can. Eat healthy food. Eat the veggies that serve your body. Eat those leafy greens. Have the protein and the healthy carbs. Really just nourish your body, especially during these times of, this virus going on. It's so important to stay healthy and keep your body in the healthiest form it possibly can be. Also, gratitudes. If you've seen any of my videos, if you've joined me before, I'm a huge fan of gratitudes. I write down 5 to 10 gratitudes every single day, and it's really something that sets my day up for success, and really gets my mind thinking in the right way. Sometimes we can wake up and we're like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do today, or you're just dreading the day for some reason. If you take a moment and you write down your gratitudes, there was one day this week I woke up and for some reason I was just in kind of a funk. And I went out to my patio and I sat there and I just looked at the sky. And I was like, wow, I'm so grateful to live here in Arizona, even though during the days it's getting up to like 1:15, which is just craziness. But the mornings and nights are so beautiful. And it's still, when it's 1:15, the sun is still shining. And I sat out there and I just thought to myself how grateful I am for everything that I have. And so even for fresh water, for clean water, for coffee in the morning, for the pen to write down my gratitudes, for the notebook, for the paper, just the little tiny things like that. When you start to appreciate the smaller things in life, you realize how lucky and how fortunate we really, really all are. And it just kind of makes the heartache and the sadness that's going on in the world right now not disappear, but it just makes you realize, okay, there still are things to be grateful for in our lives. So I recommend you write down at least 5 gratitudes a day, maybe 5 at night, 5 in the morning, and it just really it sets your heart and your soul up for success. So if any of you start to do that and you haven't started a gratitude practice, I would love to hear from you. And let me know how that goes because I'm so passionate about that. It's really changed my world around. Also positive external content right now. So the media, of course, is just blasting stuff everywhere. There's some positive on it, but there's more negative on the news. And so I challenge you, if you love watching the news, I don't know the last time I've actually watched the news. It's popped up on my phone a couple of times, but turning on the TV and watching the news, I don't do it because it affects my mindset. I start to worry. I start to let fear take a hold of me. I get sad by the stories that I see. And so I know that that's what the news does for me, but maybe it doesn't for you. And so if you enjoy watching the news, I challenge you maybe just 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, whatever it is, but just make sure you're consuming positive external content, because when you listen to more positive things, like a podcast, and I know of a good one, it's Breakthrough Time, it's mine. But all joking aside, anybody's podcast who is very uplifting, who is sharing positivity in this room, go subscribe and go listen to it, because it really is so important to listen to at least something positive throughout the day. And whether that's a book or it's a podcast or maybe it's an Audible, whatever it is, YouTube, whatever it may be, just make sure you're consuming some positive external content. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, please follow me on social media at Miss Tori Kruse. Until next time, be unstoppable.